Hello, chat. Look at the bike. This is the best way I could set up the phone. Hey, you guys. Welcome to the garage. Everyone say hi to Betsy. That's not her name. What was that song? What? Wasn't it so good? In this video, I am going to be anatomically showing you how to rev match a bike. What is rev matching a bike? Essentially, it's downshifting, but it's doing it the right way. Essentially, you're switching gears to a lower gear. And when you switch down to a lower gear on a motorcycle, you want to rev match it so it's a smooth transition and it's not hard on your engine. It's really quick, it's really simple. It takes about a second. So let's just jump right in. I'm choosing this action because I think it's interesting and I love motorcycles. So, first, you need to pull in the clutch. Second, you need to blip the throttle. What do you have to say? Lastly, the gear shift itself while pulling in the clutch and blipping the throttle. Bang! You just went from fourth to third or third to second. And you made a really cool sound while doing it. So that's what's happening. Let's take a deeper dive on what we're actually doing. Let's start by just sitting on the bike. Wow, you look so good. Let's take a look at the position, specifically the arms and legs. To hold the handlebars, the elbows need to be in a slight flexion at the humeral ulnar and the humeral radial joint. Okay, now for the fun part. Our antagonist muscle is the bicep brachii. Our helper muscle, or our synergist, is our brachialis, which is like deep under the bicep brachii. Our antagonist muscle is going to be that tricep brachii, which has 3 heads. Okay, so my phone actually overheated. I stuck it in the fridge. Yeah, I bet you guys wish you had one of those sticky things on your phones now, huh? Now with the legs, you can see the legs are in a slight abduction or abduction of the acetabular femoral joint, or as our kinesiology book calls it, the hip joint. Our agonist muscle is going to be our gluteus maximus. I actually wrote a pretty funky rap with that one. Getting started on the most superficial muscle. Our synergist muscle is going to be the gluteus minimus. The antagonist muscle is going to be the abductor longus. Just kidding. The adductor magnus. I don't know why I said that. Like, you can also see at the knees, the tibiofemoral joint is also in flexion. The muscles we use here are biceps femoris, semitendinosus as our synergist, and our, what's the opposite? Antagonist. And our antagonist is going to be rectus femoris, which is right over here. Okay, let's move on to the actual downshift movements. To disengage the engine from the transmission for your downshift, you pull the clutch in. To start your rev match, you want to pull in the clutch. This disengages the engine from the transmission. Pull in the clutch, you will be doing 2 movements, finger flexion and a thumb flexion. Finger flexion happens at the metacarpophalangeal joint and the distal interphalangeal joints. Our agonist muscle is going to be flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus. Our synergist muscle, or our helper muscles, are going to be the lumbricals. And our antagonist is going to be extensor digitorum. Thumb flexion happens at the first metacarpophalangeal joint and the first distal interphalangeal joint. Our agonist is going to be flexor pollicis longus. Our synergist is going to be adductor pollicis. And the antagonist muscle is going to be extensor pollicis longus. No, because you wanted something really funny. I actually got here an hour early. Oh, this is great. Nice, quiet, and cool. So we can work on the rest of the project. Where did we leave off at? Okay, so yeah. Fingers are flexed and we're pulling in that clutch. We're going to transition over to the right hand. To ensure a smooth transition, you need to align your engine speed with the speed of your output shaft. You got to bring those RPMs up. So to do that, you blip the throttle. As you can see, we already have our fingers flexed around the throttle. We're gripping the throttle. That's what we're doing. We're gripping it. It's already flexed. So I'm not going to go into all the flexion muscles that we used when we talked about the left hand clutch pull, because it's the same thing. Also, it's on my paper that I gave to Jason. So shout out Jason. You got the paper. All the information's on there. But yeah, let's get onto that actual blip of the throttle, which is a wrist extension. So the movement is happening at the radiocarpal joint. And our agonist muscle is the extensor carpi radialis, longus, and brevis. Our synergist is going to be that extensor carpi ulnaris. And our antagonist is probably going to be a flexor. It's the flexor carpi ulnaris. So let's extend that wrist and Wait, no, don't hold, just pause. There we go. This is a quick blip. This isn't a hold. This is a blip. It's time to move on to the actual gear shift part. So let's transition to the left leg. See this lever? That's the shifter. Pushing it down will put you in a lower gear, and pulling it up will shift you to a higher gear. Unless you're in neutral, then pushing it down will put you into first gear. And you don't need a rev match. That's like not important though. So now that your engine is finally disengaged from the transmission and you got those RPMs up, it's finally down to push. What is the foot doing right now? That's right. Dorsiflex. No, it's not. Show of hands. How old is everyone? Who wants to be on my podcast? Assuming we're already in a higher gear, not counting neutral, we're going to want to push that lever down. This action is called a plantar flexion. And the joint we are using is the talocrural joint. I just want to say that it was really early in the morning when I filmed the next part. And what muscles are we using? That's right. Wait. The soleus and the gastrocnemius. Good job, you guys. Our synergist muscle is going to be fibularis longus or peroneus longus if you're living back in the day. And our antagonist is going to be tibialis anterior. Guys, am I chopped? Okay, so that was step 3 in part 1. So let's recap on what just happened. And we're pulling the clutch in. We're throttle blipping. We shift that gear down. Time to move on to part 2. Apparently, I didn't mention this before. The 3 steps we're doing in part 2 is going to be lifting our leg off the shifter, letting off the throttle, and releasing the clutch. You're welcome. To dorsiflex the talocrural joint, we will be using the agonist, tibialis anterior, synergist, extensor digitorum longus, and our antagonists are going to be the soleus and the gastrocnemius. And that was pretty easy. So back to that right hand. So you're revving that throttle with that wrist extension. Time to let go of it by doing the exact opposite movement. So tell me, class, what's the opposite movement of wrist extension? Did you guys say it? That's right, wrist flexion. So what muscles are we using? Our agonist is going to be flexor carpi radialis and flexor carpi ulnaris. Our synergist is going to be palmaris longus. And our antagonist is going to be extensor carpi radialis longus and extensor carpi radialis brevis. Okay, you guys, lastly, we're going to move on to that left hand for step 3 in part 2. To release the clutch, we will be again doing the exact opposite movements as the clutch pull. Left finger extension. Keep in mind, this is more of like a smooth transition. This isn't a clutch dump. This is a smooth transition. If you do a clutch dump, you could wheelie your bike. For finger extension, we will be using extensor digitorum. Our synergist is still going to be those lumbricals. Our antagonist is going to be flexor digitorum superficialis. For that left thumb extension, our agonist is going to be extensor pollicis longus. Our synergist is going to be abductor pollicis longus. And our antagonist is going to be flexor. And our antagonist is going to be flexor pollicis longus. Wow, you have successfully released the clutch. You did it. That was all you. Now combine all of the movements in part 2 at the same time in about half a second. Congratulations, you have successfully rev matched your motorcycle. This is an action done while riding. So this is what it looks like, and this is what it sounds like. But yeah, here's what that looks like.
Boom. Boom.
And here's what that sounds like. I love that sound. I love that sound so much. Oh my goodness. So, if you're driving next to a motorcycle, or you're around a motorcycle and you happen to hear that sound, just know they're probably doing it because they think you're cute. They're not doing it to show off. They're not doing it just to make a cool sound. I do it just to make a cool sound. They're probably slowing down. Thank you all for watching my video. Hopefully this explained a lot of cool stuff. Give it up for everybody who helped me out with this video. I'm telling you, y'all are gonna love the podcast.